Hey guys, I'm just gonna comment on on an article that was given to me a few days ago. Originally, I was gonna do a video on it, but YouTube, for some apparent reason, decided to mess with the audio, so I had no audio to present a live feed. So I'm doing this as a pre-recording, and the only reason why it's this late is because I had other things to take care of, which prevented me from doing any pre-recording videos. So I do apologize for this being late, but like I said, there are some things that was out of my hands. But now I'm going to talk about it now a little briefly, considering especially this is a very interesting article, which was blown by Rutgers, and it pretty much is close to home and reflects a lot of pros and cons of having an isolated community, as well as a religious-run isolated community. It involves a Jewish man who was sentenced in a New York State court for assault for assaulting a neighbor because he did not he wasn't praying with the rest of the community. Now, this guy, you would think that this is like a fist fight, or he basically was beating up his son, or he was threatening his family, and in turn they had to isolated into a physical scuffle. No, this man set this guy on fire. He literally set him ablaze. He has suffered severe burns, which caused him to be in the hospital for a month. And this all stems because he disobeyed a prayer order by the Grand Rabbi. He pleaded guilty to this case, but to be honest with you, the fact that he actually had a plan, and I'm gonna say this again, he had a plan, because originally he was going to set the whole house on fire with the family still in there. Okay, he was going to set the whole house on fire with the family still in there, and Rosenberg, who was the victim, Rottenberg, sorry, who was the victim, actually approached this guy, confronted him, and he ended up getting the raw end of the whole thing. The name, who I'm going by, the name is Spencer. He's 18 years old. He has pleaded guilty to the charges and faces up to 10 years. Although the judge says that he will probably will receive 5, which makes no sense whatsoever. Um, Mind you, the original charges were attempted murder and arson. They dismissed that. So he basically pleaded on a lesser charge. He would have faced 25 years in prison if those charges were to stand. The attorney for Spencer said that his client was trying to cause mischief, not to kill anyone. I'm sorry, I completely disagree with that. And he goes on to say that he should be given a chance to get back on the right track. Which, to me, you do the crime, you need to do the time. That's just how I feel about that. But the point was about this whole conversation is that the fact was this whole thing have pretty much escalated because the community was sending hateful threats to this family. They actually vandalized his home. And pretty much the final nail in the coffin was this 19-year-old who felt he was obligated to send a message to this family by setting a house on ablaze and by basically setting the guy on fire because he refused to join in the community in prayer, which is something I do believe should be up to the person's own practice and not the practice of other people. But that's my opinion. Um, this, despite how mad I am with this, because I am a little bit angry of this whole case, because it showed the demonstration how people can be very over religious to the point where now that it's no longer about religion, it's about themselves and their own selfish views. And it's very sad because this kind of stuff gives any religion, a very bad name. Um, it also shows how sometimes having an isolated community is not always a good thing. While yeah, we have in New York City, we have a lot of pockets of isolation in terms of community. And when I say isolation, I mean that you can walk down the street and you can easily tell what neighborhood you're on just by walking 2 blocks down. Williamsburg is very, very mixed. You can tell you're in a Spanish area in Williamsburg, but only 2 blocks later, you're now in a very predominantly Jewish neighborhood. And that's fine. There's a lot of culture that goes involved with that. I have no problem with that. What I have a problem is that neighborhood, that whole community, becomes their own country, and that's when they start setting their own rules based on either religious views or just on what they believe how the community should run abroad. And Bloomberg has actually it's been trying to crack down on this a lot, especially after some of the stuff that happened in the last year. That try to get the community to be more open up to the rest of New York, especially those very tight pocket communities. And this is one of the perfect examples of that. In New York, Bloomberg has threatened to take away a bus route, the Williamsburg bus route, because the Jewish area of Williamsburg have their own bus route they have. I never took that bus route, didn't need to because it doesn't go where I gotta go. But they do have their own bus route. And an undercover agent has discovered something that just shook my head because, again, when you have isolated communities, they do tend to make their own rules that are not matching well with state law or even even the country's law, the laws of the land. And what they found out was that the woman was being discriminated on these buses where, if a man would come in the bus and he wanted that seat, the woman was told to get in the back of the bus. Something that that was revealed very quickly, and thanks to because a lot of people have complained about it, and Bloomberg got threatened to basically shut down that whole bus route if they continued. There's also a lot of stuff that happened. There was an incident that happened where a boy was murdered, and a lot of the community was looking outside of what was going on instead of inside, and they actually found it was their own. It was their own, but there was a big issue with that because a lot of people were saying that within the community they are not aware of a lot of things like sexual abuse. They don't talk about certain things like that because they feel that they need to keep it within the community. And half the stuff don't even get reported out with the correct authorities, which is something that has been a huge problem. And a lot of leaders, both religious leaders and political leaders, have been working very hard to fix. So hearing this story here, it doesn't shock me. What shocks me is the fact that that this guy thought he was doing the right thing by setting a house ablaze and even setting him ablaze on the name of religion, on the name of preserving the community, to keep the community together. That's something that I do not approve in any manner. And those who have threatened this family, those who have threatened, who has appraised this type of aggressive behavior should be ashamed of themselves, because all you did was put a bad marking on your religion, and that's something that that people looked at, and people actually will point fingers saying, "You see, this is why I don't follow this, because you guys are just out of arrogant," and that's wrong. I mean, to me, my own personal belief is that if you follow what you want to follow, that's fine. I follow my belief. I don't try and force other people to believe what I believe, because not everybody believes what I believe, and they have their own views on religion as well as their own take on religion. As long as you don't put it on me, that's fine. I don't put no religion on you. But that's just, again, that's my feeling on that situation. And as far as the family concerned, they should never have been harassed the way they have been harassed. Okay, that's all it is to it. The fact that they actually went this route, the fact that the community actually went this far is just is disgusting to me. That's all it is to it. Again, this is not on everybody. Not everybody does this, but when you have radicals, extremists, and people who are over religion, this stuff will happen. And unfortunately, I'm just happy that the family's okay, and I'm happy that the victim is alive. Because believe me, being a burn victim myself, man, oh man, that is very, very painful. The thought of that just cringed me and brings back some very bad memories of my own experience as a kid. But that's a personal matter for another day. But in terms of this, yeah, this I'm more upset in terms of this case that they actually dropped the 2 charges. I don't know why they actually went down. Maybe because they didn't have enough evidence. I don't know what it is, but to me, that those, at least if anything else, attempted murder charges should have stayed, because like I said, this guy, he knew what he was going to do, and the fact that he was willing to burn down a house that was that had the family asleep inside. I don't care what what his lawyer, what his attorney says. He knew what he was doing. He had a plan, and he was willing to take out a couple of lives to just to preserve what he felt is the right thing for his religion, and that is not cool at all. That is just disgusting, and I don't want to hear about he was causing mischief, because no, that was he was trying to kill someone. He was blatantly wanting to hurt someone. But again, this is my own feeling on this. It's my own opinion on it. You guys are free to comment if you want, if you agree, disagree. Please post your comments on the section below, and give your own experience on this, because I know there's a lot of people who have experienced a situation like this. It don't even have to be religion. It's something that you encounter, whether in small pocket neighborhoods like this. So please give your own thoughts about it. But for me, living in New York, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. We are a multicultural city, but we're not immune to racism. We're not immune to these type of situations within small, isolated areas. And believe me, in terms of this, we're definitely not immune. Because a few days ago, a man is now being, having hearings because he tried to set a place of worship on fire. So this kind of stuff, yeah, it does happen in the city. I'm not going to sit here and say it don't. It does. So again, give your own opinion on this. So until then, this is J77 saying, guys, take care.